So the first card you have your past is the Ace of Wands. Fantastic card. I love action cards. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of a lot of big changes, in this card, a lot of growth, and a lot of optimism actually, which is really good to see. I think you might have had a very positive start to this year. And I think this could have been partly or mostly even because of your attitude. It's like, you were determined to be positive. It's like you're putting the last year behind you and you said, right, this year I'm going to be positive, especially in love, I think, because I think you had some pretty awful people in your life last year. There might actually be someone new around you at this time or fairly new around you. And this is a really passionate card as well, so that's fantastic. I like seeing that. The other thing I'm seeing is protection in this card. I think maybe you could have been protecting someone. This might have been someone who was a little bit vulnerable in some way or something like that. I think maybe they were going through some kind of emotional turmoil or something. I'm actually seeing a friendship. This might have been a friend of yours, but it was mixed in with work in some way. So maybe you knew this person through work, or maybe they were a friend that you worked with, something like that. There's some connection between work and friendship with this person, but yeah, you're helping this person. You were using your own optimism that you were determined to have to help them and sort of shelter them as well. I'm looking at this castle on this hill in this card, and castles, they represent stability and wealth and all of that. They also, they can also represent shelter. When there was any kind of war or unrest or anything like that in a town or a city in the early Renaissance and times like that, people used to take shelter inside the walls of a castle. And obviously this castle's up on a hill, so that's showing me that they saw you as an obvious choice to come to for help. You stood out to them. It's like you stood out up on this hill as someone who they could come and talk to and ask to for help. And you're a very helpful person. You're a very compassionate person. And quite often I think people do come to you for help over things, and you love being that person. Sometimes it can be a bit draining. I know there have been a couple of people who have constantly called you, constantly messaged you and asked for your help over and over again, and that's been very draining and hard to cope with. But I'm not seeing this person being like that. But yes, you are an obvious person. People do come to you for help quite often. That's what I'm seeing. But you're helping this person and you wanted to do that. So the next card you have your past is the Nine of Wands. So yeah, again, I'm seeing this new love in your life, or kind of the start of new love. This is the beginning of something. And I'm really happy to see this, because I think last year was full of people who were trying to take advantage of you, and maybe they even used you or something like that. So I think this is probably why you have this card here. I think you were coming out of these old negative times, negative feelings last year, the old hurts and everything like that. And this poor man, he's been through a battle. His head's injured, and so you've been through some pretty horrible love situations, which is the same as what I'm seeing in the Ace of Wands. And I am seeing more than one situation that you went through last year. You had people messing you around, messing with your head, like this poor man with a bandage around his head. But you are still, you're coming out of this at this time. You're coming into new things. You're coming into this new love situation. You were still a bit cautious, of course, because you're coming, but you were coming forward. Even though there was some caution, you were still coming forward. And all of these wands, apart from the one that he's holding, are behind him. So he's putting the barrier behind him, and he's coming forward from that barrier. And that's what you're doing. You had your barriers up because of all the terrible things that had happened to you in the past year, but now this year you're kind of coming out of that. You're kind of right, I'm determined, I'm moving forward. Last year's finished, here I come, I'm coming forward. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing in that card. The last card you have your past is the Nine of Swords. Yes. So even though you had all this optimism, you were determined to do that, I think you still had some stress around you, obviously, with this card. And I think this could have been a combination of things. I think you had some work stress. I am seeing a very difficult work situation around a person. This is around a difficult person. And I'm just seeing a problem where I think there was a problem where you might have, you woke up thinking about this, you went to bed thinking about this, it was kind of on your mind all the time. It was really, really hard for you to stop thinking about this. And I'm getting this feeling of you feeling like you were alone with this problem, actually, or feeling like nobody really understood this problem. You were the only one who could understand this problem. And I think there might have been someone who maybe you usually went to talk to about these kinds of problems, but this person wasn't there for some reason. They weren't around you for some reason. And I think at one time you would have gone to them about this problem, but they weren't there. I don't know why, but they weren't around you. And this is someone who usually understood you on a very deep level, but they weren't around you, and I'm feeling quite sad about that. It's kind of someone you had for support who wasn't there. That's what I'm seeing. But anyway, if this is resonating with you and you're still really stressed about being in this situation, you can definitely manifest your way out of this and into something new. And I can see that on this card, and I'll tell you why, how I can see that, but it's very obvious. I'll tell you in a minute. But I just want to say this. I mean, you probably do know this, but I just think I need to say this. For me, the way to approach manifesting isn't to say to yourself, I want to get out of this. I want to get out of something, because that's negative, saying I want to get out of a bad thing. It's better to say, I want a different situation. I want a new situation. This is what I want it to be like. This is what I want to see in my life. I want to go into something good. I want to go into this, into that, into something that's positive. That's a more positive approach to manifesting, because you're focusing on what you do want, not what you don't want. You're focusing on the positive. And, you probably knew that, but I just felt that I had to say that. But yes, this is why I can see you can manifest this. There are red roses on the quilt in this card, and red roses represent manifestation. They're in the Magician card and all of that kind of thing. They're in the Strength card. So you can get through this. You can manifest something new. If you haven't already, this is in your past, you can do this. That's what the message here is. And you can manifest this if you look toward what you want. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Excuse me. The first card you have for your present is the Six of Wands. So yeah, this is the victory card. This is fantastic. So yes, you can definitely manifest this. You can get through this problem. You can go into a new thing. And you can get out of this problem you had around work. And you'll be able to do that if you focus on where you need to go. That's what I'm seeing instead of where you've been. I'm seeing the same thing again. So I think there might have been a bit of jealousy coming from someone, this difficult person around work. This is a kind of hidden jealousy, I think. I think they might have been feeling, or they are still feeling, as if you're kind of up on your high horse, like the man on this card. I mean, there's a crowd around this man. He's up high on a horse. There's a crowd around, and they all look like they're supporting him. They're all kind of crowding around saying, hooray to this man. And we kind of see the crowd as a mass of people, but we can't see what they're really thinking inside their heads as individuals. And that's with any crowd or with any group. We see them as a big mass, and we think, oh, they all think this, or they all believe this, or they all do this. Especially when there's a protest or there's a big group of people, we see them all and we say, oh, they're all for this, or they're all against that, or something. But we don't know what's really inside each person's head. And I think that's what was happening. I think they had this kind of jealousy, and they were trying to hide it from you. But I think you could see, I think you can tell, because you're pretty good at reading people. So, you do have supportive people around you. But this difficult person obviously isn't one of them. They're a bit worried about their position, I think, and they're worried about maybe you taking over. Obviously, again, this man's sitting above everyone else up on his horse. And I think this is what this person's worried about, that you'll climb higher than them. You're a smart person, I can see that. And, you can work your way through this, definitely. And you have a positive attitude, a new attitude for the new year. You're resilient, all of these things. And, you've gone really far to the point where someone sees you as a threat. I mean, if they didn't see you as a threat, you wouldn't have, that would mean that you weren't a threat to them. You weren't up where you are in the position that you're in, if that makes sense. I know I'm kind of bumbling my words, but I'm trying to explain what I'm seeing. So I hope that made sense. So, and you can go even further, actually. You can go further. You can go as far as you want. And this is a white horse, so your intentions are pure. You're not out to compete with anyone. You're not out to make them jealous. You're just doing your best. You're just doing what you can. So just keep going if this is resonating. Don't let this person stop you from being your best. Don't let the kind of vibrations they're giving off to you, these kind of negative, jealous things, don't let them kind of lower your vibration. I know that sounds a bit cringy, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So don't let them do that. Keep on climbing higher and higher and higher. Don't worry about what they think. The next card you have, your present, is the Ten of Pentacles. I'm just seeing that, you might have to be a bit careful about what you say to this person, obviously, or around this person even, at work, if this is all resonating with you and you know who this is. And again, I'm sure you do know who this is, because you do pick up on other people's feelings and other people's vibrations. Very good. You're very good at reading people. I'm seeing that again. And I know you're just trying to build things up for yourself. You're just trying to build up your money, your career, everything else. That's absolutely fine. And that's a big priority for you, because these coins, if you look at this card, these coins are kind of over the top of the whole scene. So they're kind of on top of everything. So that's where your priority is here. And of course, I don't want to have to, I don't want to have to tell you that I don't need to tell you this. I don't need to tell you this, that, you just need to try your best not to be around them. Try your best not to talk, about them or near them. They're going to try and find some kind of ammunition to kind of fire at you. They're trying to catch you out or something like that. They're very jealous. And you don't want to deal with this. I know you don't have time and it's unnecessary. I know that. You know that. But again, I'm seeing that they are going to try and kind of whisper or chat about you or whatever, or kind of gossip or whatever, or then what they're doing, they're trying to find things to pick holes in about your work and everything, and then they're going to try and gossip or whisper or make other people think you're not very good at your job. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing there, because I'm looking at these two people in the middle of this card, and it looks like they're kind of whispering, and that's what I'm seeing there, and then they're kind of walking past each other. So again, watch out for that. This person is not showing you their true face. They're very different to you. They think about things very different to the way you think. So you can't deal with them in the way of, oh, this is what I do in this situation, so that's what they're going to do. No, absolutely not. They're completely different to you. If I were you, I'd try and get away from this person as much as I can, but maybe you can't do that. You have to work with them. I don't know. But yeah, it's very, very difficult. That's what I'm seeing. The last card you have, your present, is the Four of Wands. This is a beautiful card. This is a fantastic card. I'm really glad to be seeing this here. And I'm seeing a few things in this card. I'm seeing welcoming. The two women on this card are holding up these bouquets of flowers. It's like they're asking you to walk through this canopy. They're waving, saying, come through, welcome. That's what they're saying. And, it's a bit like they're seeing someone they haven't seen for a long, long time. Like, it's like they're waving to someone at the airport or something like that, a long-lost family member that's coming through the doors, and they're waving, saying, I'm so happy to see you, I'm so happy to see you. And they're waving the bouquets and balloons and everything to the person. It's something like that. So maybe these, I think you are spending some time with family, or you have been, or you are going to soon, or you are now. And these are family members that you might not have seen for a while, and they welcome you back. They want to see you. And A lot of people struggle around family, and you have had some problems around some family members, definitely, especially when you were growing up. I'm seeing you had a lot of problems growing up with family, but I think these particular people that you're seeing at this time, they do make you feel welcome, they do make you feel at home. That's what I'm seeing in this card. And this card, obviously, you know this card can also be about marriage. Now, I don't know if you brought this new love connection that I'm seeing in the Ace of Wands to see this family or introduce them to your family, but maybe you did. But if you didn't, it was probably for a practical reason. I think they might have been busy at work or something like that. But I think the fact that whether you did, either you brought them to see your family or you didn't, and it was because of a practical reason, not because you didn't want to or because they didn't want to. But even the fact that you were thinking about bringing them to see your family tells me that you're thinking very seriously about this person. Now, yeah, this can be the card of marriage, as I was saying, but if you don't want to be married, a lot of people don't like the institution of marriage, and of course that's fine. You were thinking about having a long-term future with this person, if this is resonating with you, and they were thinking the same about you. The feeling's mutual. This is a very balanced card, so it's very balanced. They think the same about you as you think about them, and you both really, really care for each other. There's a lot of love there. That's what I'm seeing. So this is a really, really positive sign for this relationship. This looks really, really good for you. It looks amazing for you, actually. I'm really happy for you. So the first card you have for your future is the Three of Pentacles. So yes, again, I'm sighing because this is this work situation, and I think this is still going to be on your mind at this time. So obviously you won't have gotten through this yet, this problem. You might not be able to avoid this person, sadly, and I think that I'm getting the impression, again, same kind of thing. They might think that you look down on them, or that you think you're better than them, or something like that. Because in this card, you know, it's right next to the Six of Wands, and you can see they're both, someone is up higher than everyone else. So in the Three of Pentacles, there's one man on the left-hand side, and he's up on a bench. He's presenting something to the other people, but he is up higher than them. And so this person probably thinks that you think you're better than them, or you're up higher than them, or something like that, or that you want to be. Now, you don't think that. You don't think that, but that's what they think. That's what's on their mind. So you might have to, unfortunately, you might have to work with this person directly on a project or something like that, because the Three of Pentacles is about working with other people in a team and things like that. You might have to try to come up with solutions together. Sometimes I see these three coins at the top of this card looking a little bit like two heads or two brains, and then the other coin up the top is the idea kind of popping out from between these two heads. I know that sounds a bit crazy. That's what I see sometimes. But yes, this is going to be very, very hard for you to be productive with this person. Both of you are going to struggle to be productive with each other, because you have this kind of stress around this horrible person who's being difficult, and they have this kind of feeling that they're jealous, and they're trying to find things that are wrong, and they have this kind of horrible feeling around them. So they aren't going to be able to work either properly. So I think if things get really bad, you're going to have to do something about this. You might have to go to someone else about this if you can, if you have someone else up higher that you can talk to about this. Obviously not to tell tales on them. You don't want to do that sort of thing, and I know you're not like that anyway, but to just see if someone else can work on this instead of you, or there's some solution that you can have to this. I really hope you can find a way around this if this is all resonating with you, because it's still going to be really a problem for you. It's going to be really bothering you and probably upsetting you still. So the next card you have for your future is the Page of Swords. So yes, I keep on seeing this difficult person. I don't mean to see them. You don't want to see them. I don't want to see them. But I keep on seeing them. So whoever this is, they're definitely watching you. They still will be at this time. They'll be waiting for you to mess something up. And they're really defensive as well. Look at how defensive this page is. It's like if you called them out, if you said, what are you doing? Just stop picking holes in my work. Just let's get on with the work. We're here to work. We're here to get things done. Let's concentrate on what we need to do, which is what I'd like to say to them. But, if you said that to them, they'd be really defensive. No, I'm not doing anything. It's your problem. What's the problem with you? You have a problem with me. You're always like this, la, la. They'd kind of turn it around onto you. So, this is a page, so you probably have a more mature outlook than them. Most definitely, but I'm still getting a really, really strong feeling that you really need to try to distance yourself from this person, or try to completely get away if you can. That would be best. Try to find a way to do this. I'm really feeling this really, really strongly. They're a huge drain on your energy, on your feelings, on your emotions. You have so many other beautiful, wonderful things happening in your life, and this thing's kind of dragging you down. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm definitely not saying all of this to make you feel paranoid, but I'd rather say this than not say it. I need to say it because somebody needs to hear this. You need to try and do whatever you can to get as far away from them as possible, somehow. The last card you have for your future is the 8 of Wands. So, there's a lot of movement in this reading. There are a lot of wands in this reading. I think this might be a message to you to try to get yourself away from this situation, obviously, and this person, even if it's for a short time, just to clear your mind. Because when you're around this person, there's no way you can clear your mind. It's just impossible. So you might need to just, even if you can take the afternoon off or a day off or something off, or if you can't do that, do this in the evening or something like that after work or something. Try to just clear your mind. Meditate if you can. Go somewhere new for a while. Walking around a new area can help you sometimes. Exercising can help. If you can, just do whatever you can to just rest your mind, clear your mind. And when your mind's clear, this is when the new ideas are going to come in. And I think what's going to happen is you'll be able to clear your mind, come up with solutions as to what to do with this person. I don't mean that you should do anything to this person, as in do anything bad to this person, even though it might be tempting. I'm tempted. They sound horrible. But you'll be able to come up with a solution that's going to help you through this in some way. And it might be a creative solution. It's something that's going to suddenly come to you out of nowhere, and then you'll be able to move forward with this. You'll be able to move past this after that, I think, really, really quickly, like these wands are kind of flying across the sky. And that doesn't mean they're going to change. They're not going to change. You can't change this person. But you will do something that's going to change your life to make you feel better, hopefully to get yourself away from them, at least for some time. Or it's some solution. It's a very interesting, very kind of creative solution that's going to come to you quickly, and it's going to help you. But to get to that solution, you're going to have to clear your mind in some way. That's what I'm seeing in that card.